Welcome once again to the Fox 54 Week in Review. I'm Kenesha Dees. This is your place to get a week's worth of local headlines condensed into one half-hour program so you could be informed going into your weekend. Here's what we have ahead for you in this week's episode. Residents of a Huntsville apartment complex say the owners have done nothing to repair the problems, making life unbearable. We hear from the attorney representing the residents. It's a farm for all, and all the veggies are free. You'll come along with us as we explore this community farm, helping dig some North Alabamians out of food inequity. And you have a special invitation to a Harvest Man's 106th birthday. His secrets to a long and happy life are coming up just ahead. We'll start, though, with the ongoing Steve Perkins case. The officer charged with Perkins' murder asked to have his federal lawsuit dropped, and the body camera footage that had been a source of contention for many since the incident was released by a media outlet. Let's get you up to speed. Where dozens of people have gathered outside City Hall. It's after a website published what appears to be police body camera footage of the night Steve Perkins was shot and killed.
I'm here outside of Decatur City Hall where just hours ago, dozens of Steve Perkins supporters gathered to continue their fight for justice for Steve and the removal of Todd Pinion. Back in January, Steve's widow, Controller Perkins, did confirm that she was presented the opportunity to see the body camera footage, but chose not to do so. And today, what appears to be the body cam footage of events leading to Steve Perkins' death was posted by a website online. Morgan County's NAACP President, Roddy Gordon, was at tonight's gathering and shared this with the crowd.
If that door cam hadn't been there, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. He'd have been a statistic. That's why he came and told the lie from the jump. We asked him to put a gun down. He didn't put the gun down. We shot him. That was a lie, a bald-faced lie. If it wasn't for the body cam, we don't have this conversation, y'all.
We also spoke with another member of the community who shared this reaction to the body camera footage.
But when the video comes out, when more evidence comes out, when more people talk, what you have to remember is he said, she said, but there's the truth. That's right. And the truth is on that video. The truth is, Steve didn't have time to talk.
That's right.
The truth is, Steve didn't have time to comply. The truth is, Steve didn't have time to drop his gun, if he had a gun. The truth is, Steve didn't have time to turn around and put his hands up and say, I will do what you say, and or stop what he was doing. The truth is, they came from behind his house. They hid there before anybody ever knew, and they came out and they killed an innocent man because they could. Not because they wanted to or whatever else we want to convince ourselves of. They did it because they could.
All right, supporters said they will continue their fight for justice for Steve and plan on gathering this Friday for another march.
A website published what appears to be police body cam footage the night Steve Perkins was shot and killed by former Decatur police officer Mac Marquette. And since then, we've learned several claims about who leaked this video. So what do we know so far? Let's verify some things. Here's what we know. We reached out to Aaliyah and they confirmed they did not release the body cam footage. They also confirmed that they turned over their investigative file to the Morgan County District Attorney. We reached out to the Morgan County DA's office about the body cam video, but they told us they could not share any information due to the temporary gag order. A hearing for the gag order is scheduled for April 8th. Now, there's a lot of chatter about how the release of this body cam release could impact Marquette's trial scheduled for October. We are actively working to confirm some of those claims. These are some things we cannot confirm. How the website that first released this video was able to obtain the footage, whether the video that the website released is raw footage in this case. Now, it does appear to be edited, but we cannot confirm if this is the original format. And finally, we cannot confirm if the footage will cause a change of venue for Marquette's murder trial. Again, the Morgan County DA is unable to comment as they are under a temporary gag order. Now, the fallout from the Perkins shooting has disrupted a sense of trust within the community. During tonight's Decatur City Council work session, resident Justin Shepard posed direct questions to the mayor and council members. Shepard asked the assembly what city leaders are doing to rebuild the trust he and others feel they have lost since Perkins' death. Here's a portion of the council's response.
engaging with the community. When people in my district, like this week, ask me to come meet with them, I do that. I have plenty of phone calls and interactions with folks every week, multiple times.
Do you feel that's enough to build trust within the community?
There's never going to be enough communication.
Well, Shepard also asked a question that had been put before the council numerous times in the past six months. Why are citizens not able to remove council members or even the mayor when they feel cause to do so? City Attorney Herman Marks then answered.
We only have the authority which the state grants us. It's called the Dillon Rule. So we don't have the authority to do what you just described, but we can look into it, but we don't have the authority.
Well, according to the Alabama State Bar, the Dillon Rule that Marks referred to states that local government's power is derived from the state, and the local government's authority is therefore limited to what is delegated by the state. All right, Democrat Marilyn Lands won the open Alabama House District 10 seat. Lands flips the House seat after replacing former Republican Representative David Cole. Here are the latest unofficial polling numbers. The results are from the Alabama Secretary of State. Lands won with about 62% of the votes. Republican candidate and Madison City Council member Teddy Powell trailed behind with 38% of the vote. Now, following the big win, Lands released a statement last night sharing in part, quote, "Today, Alabama women and families sent a clear message that will be heard in Montgomery and across the nation. Our legislature must repeal Alabama's no exceptions abortion ban, fully restore access to IVF, and protect the right to contraception." Marks 1 year since Huntsville police officer Garrett Crumby died in the line of duty. Several Huntsville police officers gathered today at his old precinct to honor his life and legacy. Our Sedona Meadows has the story.
Officer Garrett Crumby would start his day at the West Precinct with a Subway sandwich or a honey bun in hand as he greeted fellow officers beginning their shift.
While doing so, they're cracking jokes, they're laughing, they're talking about different calls that took place, how they learn, different policies.
Now, on March 28, 2024, exactly 1 year after his death, these officers gather at the precinct to honor his life and remember his legacy.
He was always a cheery guy, he was a happy guy, he was an uplifting guy. He wanted a smile on your face, and that's what he would want on our face. And that's the reason why we will celebrate him and not mourn him.
Garrett in and of himself was a spectacular person and a wonderful officer. And that was obvious in the way he carried out his job, and that's obvious in the way he was raised. And so with that said, we want people to remember that. That's what we all strive to be, is somebody like Garrett Crumby.
On March 28, 2023, Officer Crumby, along with his colleague, Officer Albert Morin, responded to a call regarding an active shooting at 4611 Governor's House Drive. When the officers arrived to the scene, shots were fired from inside the residence through the door. Both officers Crumby and Morin were critically wounded by the gunfire. Morin has since recovered from his injuries and has returned to duty, but Crumby did not survive.
When you lose somebody like that, whether it be a Garrett or a Kelso or any of the officers we've lost, it takes a piece out of you.
Since Officer Crumby's death, the Huntsville community has shown the police department a lot of support.
Garrett's life certainly was not in vain. And with that said, we just remember him every day. I mean, it's not just today. We think about him every day.
Now there is a brick inscribed with his name at the Huntsville Fallen Officers Memorial. Crumby's family has gifted officers with a challenge coin that they can carry with them every day. In Huntsville, Sedona Meadows, FOX54 News.
Wow, what a tribute. Thank you, Sedona. Juan Laws is the man accused of killing Officer Crumby. His case has been sent to the grand jury. The state says it intends to seek the death penalty. And if you live in the Rocket City, listen up. Huntsville City Council member Bill Kling wants to hear from you with an issues survey card. It's an effort to better represent your views to the City Council. Our Jasmine Bird has the details.
Well, I think it helps for me to hear from members of the public because the public knows better than any consultant, any quote expert, what the city of Huntsville needs.
District 4 Huntsville City Councilman Bill Kling is learning more about the needs of the community with an issues survey card.
I've tried to be different, and I think this process and what I hear from people make me a better, more responsive elected official.
The survey card allows residents to voice any ideas or issues that may need attention, and Councilman Kling says most of the feedback he's hearing from the community are things that actually make sense.
Basically, what I've been hearing has to do with roads. People have numerous roads they want to see resurfaced, roads that want to be repaired. And that's normal because we're just now coming out of winter time, and those issues are being addressed. Also, there are water drainage issues in certain neighborhoods.
Councilman Kling says the Sky Bridge is also another concern for residents.
People are even critical when you tell them, well, this is going to be federal government money. It's not City of Huntsville tax money. People then come back and say, well, that's what's wrong with the country. We're just wasting money. So I think there's going to need to be a lot of communication about the project.
Apartment complexes being built throughout the city are also getting noticed.
People raise their eyebrows about the impact on their neighborhood, but at least we can point out that this is all being built with private money, not city taxpayer money in those projects.
And the good feedback is?
Well, people like the fact that we have a lot of green space in the city of Huntsville. They like the numerous coffee shops, and they like the fact that we have sidewalks throughout the community so that people can walk their neighborhoods, they can walk in other neighborhoods.
To learn more about this survey, visit FOX54.com. In Huntsville, Jasmine Bird, Fox 54 News.
We know hunger never stops. Crestwood Medical Center has stepped up to feed the need throughout North Alabama. More than 3,200 jars of peanut butter were donated to the Food Bank of North Alabama today. It's part of the Jars of Love Peanut Butter Drive campaign. These jars were donated by Crestwood employees and medical staff. Both the hospital and Food Bank of North Alabama spoke about the significant impact this drive will bring to families across the Tennessee Valley.
Crestwood has great care on the inside, but demonstrating continued support for our community, and especially those families that are hungry and need that opportunity. But we're able today to touch over 3,200 families that may not have this opportunity in our community today.
This is going to have an incredible impact. There's going to be 3,200 jars of peanut butter going out to the community. That's, if one family gets one jar of peanut butter, that's 3,200 families that are going to be able to stretch their budget a little further.
Oh yeah, it's really going to help a lot of people. Well, peanut butter is one of the most requested items for food banks due to its long shelf life and nutrition. Road improvements and more quality of life amenities were the two topics on the table this evening, and it's from Huntsville District 1 residents. They were at tonight's town hall and discussed other positive changes that can be made in their area. Our Ken McCoy has more.
The quality of life is starting to grow in this area.
Residents like Willie Love, who live in District 1, are starting to see the area they call home improve for the better.
We're starting to see a lot of homes coming into the area, some commerce coming into the area, so the quality of life is starting to expand around in the district, so I'm excited about what's to come in the future.
In tonight's town hall, Councilman Devin Keefe shared why the quality of life aspect has been a big focus for the district.
We've infilled housing, which we brought families. We've built along the corridors that we know are important. And now we are at the most crucial part, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a land, quality of life, that makes you want to stay within your district and spend your dollars out of that district. We are in a unique place in this North Huntsville Renaissance. And it's the byproduct of so many calls and so many emails over the past 8 years. Without a doubt, I can tell you some of the things that we were able to announce and what we're about to see in North Huntsville, I'm not sure I thought about it 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago.
But some projects could be discussed.
It looks like in about a year, Stone Park will be getting almost a $10 million revitalization. That's going to start with $2 million outdoor skating rinks that are nothing like it in the state of Alabama.
Additions like grocery stores is in the future.
I'm happy to see Food City coming in, so I'm happy to see that coming in, a good quality store. I'm also glad to see the number of new houses, which means new families are moving into the district. So I'm thinking that we are getting some more roads fixed. So I'm seeing a lot of great changes coming into the district.
For Fox 54 News, I'm Ken McCoy.
A big partnership in Madison County is giving all of us more access to free fresh fruits and veggies. Our Jasmine Bird takes us to Meridian Street near Alabama A&M University.
Alabama A&M University and the Madison County Commission have partnered for something unique. And as you can see behind me, it's a community garden. This is a 5-year agreement, and these crops have already started growing and they're ready to harvest.
We're at the point now that it was time to be official.
District 6 Commissioner Violet Edwards says this plot of land was used by the very first commissioner of District 6 40 years ago.
The first commissioner of this district, Dr. Prince Prayer, started it, and he was a professor at the university. And so it was like a gentleman's agreement. He worked the land with researchers and with students and just did a fantastic job.
Alabama A&M University State Extension Specialist Dr. Clement Mensos stresses that this is all about making an impact in the community.
So the idea is to, ensure that we have food security and then, food sovereignty too, so that people will know where our food comes from and then also eat local food.
According to Hunger Free America, food insecurity in Alabama grew more than 44% between 2021 and 2023.
There are statistics out there to show that there are many people that don't have food to eat. So by putting food on the table of many, for me, I think we are doing justice to, the taxpayers' money and then ensuring that, food is available.
Jason Andra with Madison County Commission says the garden is open to the public and anyone is welcome to come and pick vegetables anytime.
The crops we have growing right now is mustard, the light green, and then we have kale in the middle row and collards on the far end of this field. We'll grow 2 or 3 different varieties of sweet corn, okra, we'll be growing peas, our green beans will be going in the ground soon, planning on growing cantaloupe, and several other row crops. We try and always have some variety in the garden for people to come and harvest.
In Huntsville, Jasmine Bird, Fox 54 News.
Teens will soon have a new place to hang out. Today marked the groundbreaking of the new Athens Boys and Girls Club Teen Center. It's tailored to the needs of 13 to 18-year-olds. Partnerships with local companies will soon give teens access to STEM activities, job preparation, mentorships, and other tools to help them plan for their futures. We spoke to Boys and Girls Clubs of North Alabama CEO Patrick Wynn, who told us more about the new facility.
Have their own space, and teens don't want to be around 5, 6, and 7-year-olds, and so when they come in this place, they'll have things like VR, virtual reality, to learn workforce readiness programs. We'll do things like STEM. We'll have STEM labs in here. We'll have robotics, coding, and so. But then the most important thing is partner with companies to come in and talk to kids about pathways to success.
Exciting. Well, the new center is expected to open in about a year. Residents of one Huntsville apartment complex says they are fed up. It's over the number of fire alarms they say are disrupting their home life, and now they're seeking to take the matter to court. Our Ken McCoy spoke with the folks who are on the case.
This has happened numerous times over the last several months. I think, if I remember correctly, it's 5 in the last 6 months.
Residents of the Eclipse apartment complex have been complaining about a series of unprovoked fire alarms that have been causing disturbance for over the last 6 months. And now they're taking action.
So our client first came to us with concerns because the fire alarm at the apartment complex kept going off over and over again. We looked at it and felt like this was probably more appropriately styled up as a class action because so many people were affected. Our client moved into the Eclipse Apartments in September of 2023, and since that time, the fire alarm has gone off many, many times, sometimes staying on for as long as 4 hours.
Eric Artrip, partner with the law firm Mastando and Artrip, shares where they are in the case.
So we have filed a class action complaint proposing that we represent everyone who's been subject to these kinds of living conditions. Right now, the court has not done much of anything. We're waiting on them to respond or reach out to us, and then ultimately we will ask the court to certify the class to go forward as a collective action. This has happened numerous times over the last several months. I think, if I remember correctly, it's 5 in the last 6 months.
Residents of the Eclipse are taking action as a result of a series of fire alarms at the complex.
So our client first came to us with concerns because the fire alarm at the apartment complex kept going off over and over again. Our client moved into the Eclipse apartments in September of 2023, and since that time, the fire alarm has gone off many times, sometimes staying on for as long as 4 hours.
Eric Artrip, partnered with the law firm Mastando and Artrip, shares prior to the lawsuit, complaints were made to no avail.
That's one of the troubling things about this case, because numerous tenants have complained numerous times, and the property management company and the owners seem to have a shifting reasons for why this keeps happening and why they can't seem to get it fixed. We have filed a class action complaint proposing that we represent everyone who's been subject to these kinds of living conditions. Right now, the court has not done much of anything.
Artrip shares, outside of a monetary request, there is another issue that should be addressed.
In Alabama, a landlord has an obligation to provide a residence that is free from this kind of almost constant harassment, power outages, water outages, fire alarms, these kind of things. And if they're not going to do that, they need to give the tenants part of their money back and not put language in their leases that would keep people there even when they want to leave.
For Fox 54 News, I'm Ken McCoy.
An Army Materiel Command leader is suspended, may face a Pentagon investigation. General Charles Hamilton was suspended for improperly influencing a former subordinate's command assessment. Hamilton is accused of pressuring a panel to give a lieutenant colonel a battalion command post after the panel deemed the applicant to be unsuited for the job. Despite that panel's rejection, the lieutenant colonel was later placed on a selection list for the command. Army Secretary Christine Wormuth is said to have suspended Hamilton after credible allegations that he interfered in the Army's command assessment program.
Now, Fox 54 Top Teacher, sponsored by Calhoun Community College.
This teacher we're about to meet doesn't believe in limiting her students in a box. In fact, her teaching isn't one size fits all. It's customized for every different kid in her classroom. It's why a teacher's aide nominated her. Meet this week's top teacher, Mindy Mogsig from Athens Elementary School. Welcome.
All right. We're going to do our money song.
To Mindy Mogsig's self-contained class for special education.
It's just great to be able to help kids who may need a different setting.
She teaches kindergarten through grades 3. Mogsig's teaching methods are one-on-one and customized for each student.
We can kind of tailor things to meet them where they're at.
She teaches students with all kinds of needs and has been an educator for more than a decade.
This is year 13 for me.
Mogsig enjoys what she does, but also acknowledges some challenges along the way.
Sometimes there are boxes that I feel like we expect kids to fit in and they don't always fit in those boxes. So I think figuring out how to, make what they're learning relevant and accessible to them, I think is, part of the challenge. Count it up, count it up.
So Mogsig gets creative.
It's fun. A lot of our kids learn through music and songs they memorize.
But Mogsig said she can't do this alone.
I have some amazing instructional aides, Olivia Rodriguez and Courtney Williams both, and then we have other people who support and help us too.
And we get to meet one of them who nominated her as top teacher.
Being in this classroom, she really opened up my eyes to there are some great teachers out there, and this is a very needed area of education.
Her principal, Amanda Tedford, a witness to it too.
Her students have grown tremendously in so many areas. It's just been such a joy to watch.
Not every kid's gonna fit into everything, and so I think it's great that we have the support and are able to do it for a classroom like mine.
All right, congratulations, Mrs. Mogsig. Well deserved. Check out the moment she was surprised as top teacher and nominate one at fox54.com. 2 former employees with Decatur City Schools have been arrested and charged with fraudulent use of credit or debit card. DCS says the financial department identified several irregular charges on the system's Fuelman Fleet Card account last month. An investigation followed, and the information was then reported to the Decatur Police Department. DPD said the former employees had been allegedly using the gas card since May of 2021. Both resigned the month before. DPD says more than $40,000 of unauthorized transactions were made. The deputy superintendent says the district is taking some new measures to ensure this doesn't happen again.
We have moved the responsibility for our fuel man account from transportation to accounting. Those individuals will look at that almost on a bi-weekly basis. In addition, we now require all employees to enter the mileage odometer reading from their vehicles each time they make purchase.
Samuel Booker was charged with 1 count and booked on a $1,000 bond. Dicarius Allen was charged with 2 counts and booked on a $2,000 bond. The case has been forwarded to the Morgan County DA's office. Chance to change jobs or start a new career. The Huntsville-Madison County Chamber can help. The group is hosting a job fair. Dozens of employers are looking for folks who are underemployed, unemployed, have not completed high school, or need a second chance opportunity. Some employers will even offer on-the-spot interviews. A director of the chamber shares what you can expect.
It is designed to offer job opportunities and training opportunities to people who are looking to enter the workforce directly, or essentially without a lot of additional training or completion of advanced training requirements. We have healthcare, construction, advanced manufacturing, some aerospace and defense, all the way to banking, financial, just a little bit of everything that will be going on here.
Well, the relaunch job fair is next Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. For more information, visit fox54.com. And well, here's a story to warm your heart. A dog missing since last week found alive, and it was found inside the walls of a Gunnersville home. A builder, Mark Gullion, praised animal control on Facebook for helping with the rescue. He said the home was under construction and believed the dog got up into the attic and fell, then got trapped inside the walls. The dog has been returned to its owners.
For some, living to celebrate another birthday each year is a very special moment in time, no matter how old you turn. And for one Harvest Man, he's turning 106 tomorrow. We hear some of his secrets to a long life. Our Jasmine Bird introduces us to him.
I had a wonderful life, and I've been blessed in many ways to be able to be here today at my age.
Meet Mr. John Drake Sr. Drake is celebrating 106 years around the sun with many family members and friends.
I'm blessed in lots of ways, and I appreciate it. That's one reason I'm here today, because I appreciate some of the things that I've been through in my lifetime.
Drake believes his gratitude for all things is the reason he's here today.
Always give thanks for the Master, who is above, that looks over you daily.
And with many decades of experience here on Earth, something that really shaped him was his time as an Army sergeant in World War II.
It'll take a lot for me to explain the things that I went through during my lifetime, being as a soldier. Most of the time I was in the war. I was a World War II sergeant in the Army, and I learned a lot being in the Army from other people in other places, and just learn more about life.
Drake's son Robert says his father is a big reason he understands the value of hard work.
Just like any other family, we've, had our life's challenges, but we've been immensely blessed, as I said, and the importance of hard work, integrity, and just the importance of family and the family unit.
I can say that I've been blessed in many ways, and I try to teach my kids, I try to bring them the way that I thought would be the way for them to go to be successful in making their lives more beneficial, to live on, to keep on keeping on.
For more with Drake, visit fox54.com. In Huntsville, Jasmine Bird, Fox 54 News.
One local nonprofit is celebrating the Easter spirit, the group giving back to seniors through its annual Somebody Loves You event. CNI Solutions says it's the smile from seniors that matters, and those seniors knowing they're loved, still cared for, and thought of. The seniors were treated to a free meal, lineup of special guests, and inspiring messages.
So we host this day for the seniors because it's all about giving back. And they have paved the way for so many of us to do what we're doing today, because had it not been for them, We cannot have this Somebody Loves You Easter event that we're having for them today.
It's important for our seniors to still get out, to still be socially active, to be around people who think like them and just love on one another.
Love the play on words and a good event. Well, the annual event is free to the public, but they say all donations are welcome. Wow, that event sure to put a smile on a lot of seniors' faces. Well, that does it for the Weekend Review. We hope you have a nice Easter weekend. I'm Kenesha Dees. We'll see you here next weekend on Fox 54 Plus.